If you never do this, you may care about them immensely. But if you never do this, you never get a chance to build trust, to build goodwill, to have any of this actually work for you instead of just have this vacuum. Because, I'm from the PR industry originally, and we always said rumors love a vacuum. If you don't say, here's the intention, here's what we're doing, there will be negative news that fills that void that you've left. So tell people, goodness sakes, tell people.
Welcome again to It Doesn't Take a Genius, conversation with introspective perspectives and pithy points of view. Here are your hosts, my friends, Max and Marty.
I think that's Mark and Mike.
Yeah, whatever.
Ramsey!
Marshall, I'm going to go ahead and say something. I guess you have a background there. For those who aren't seeing the video, there's a background image, and it's the kind of place that people are dying to get into. Am I right about that?
That was the worst pun ever.
Hey, you know when it's going to be a dad joke? Have I told you this? You can tell when it's going to be a dad joke.
No, why?
It'll be apparent.
Oh, you're killing me. Yeah.
Anyway, what's the casket for? I see a casket.
There's a casket at the cemetery about to be lowered into the hole.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making the assumption, since it's a photo, that there's nobody in it. It was staged. Let's just go with that. Yeah.
If that makes you feel better, sure.
It does make me feel better. So yeah. This was led us to the topic for today, which was a topic in one of my stores was don't wait for the funeral. Don't wait for the funeral to say something nice about somebody.
Yeah.
And so this came up, and it came up as a positive story. So the managers were talking, and they're like, "Oh, we had this top person, and they put in their 2-week notice." And the entire store, right, the leadership of the store, the peers, they put on a full court press, right? Just taking this person aside, telling them how important they were and how awesome you were the man, and we couldn't do it without you. And this is what you contribute. And this is how you've changed lives. And they basically gave him his eulogy after he submitted his resignation. And then the good news is they saved him.
So this is like literally not a retirement. This is like, this guy's on his way out, and they put on the full court press talking about how great he was.
2-week notice. I'm resigning. Right, gonna go work for somebody else. Gonna go do this, and then showered him with the truth. Showered him with their feelings, and managed to keep the employee. And everybody was like, "Yeah, high five, woohoo!" This was it was a wonderful win. And so we wanted to talk about, how do we have this conversation before the announcement, right? Before the 2-week notice, before the funeral. How do we do that? And we got into it with two very powerful coaching questions. And so the first question I asked the managers, everybody get a piece of paper. I said, what do you want from your people? Write down as many things as you can. What do you want from your people? And they're like, okay. And I captured some of their answers, and some of them were duplicates. So these are, I'll mention it only once, but it was probably mentioned by more than one manager.
Yeah.
So what do you want from your people? Drive, dedication, compassion, teamwork, willingness to help others, balance, courtesy, have a growth mentality, a positive attitude, accuracy, have an open mind, open to change, be passionate, be caring, be knowledgeable, be competent, execution of the basics, punctuality, attendance, dependability, put your phone down.
Yep.
So
very practical things.
Yeah. So the managers had no problem coming up with this list. They were writing feverishly. It took seconds. And many of these things are have been topics amongst themselves and in some of our coaching meeting sessions and stuff like that, where this is what I need from my folks.
Right.
This is what we need to be successful.
Right.
And so we talked about, have you made these things clear? How often do you talk about it? Do we have goals around it? Things like that. And they said, we talk about this quite a bit. And I said, all right, so here's question number 2. And it was fascinating because the people who've been with me a while already knew what the second question was.
They saw this coming.
Yeah, they're like, I think I know where this is going. Like, yeah, and it's gonna hurt a little too. They're like, I know. And so the question is, what do you want for your people?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want for your people?
Yeah.
And their answers were profound. Right. Mm-hmm. So just a few of them. I want them to feel like they have a voice. Mm-hmm. I want them to feel heard and listened to. Mm-hmm. I want them to feel like they're part of the organizational family. Mm-hmm. I want them to feel like they've found a home. Mm-hmm. I want them to feel like there is no reason to leave. I want them to feel like they can achieve success as they define it. I want them to feel like they have a future here. I want them to have a healthy life. I want them to have internal drive. I want them to feel like it is not work. I want them to learn. I want them to be comfortable sharing their true feelings. I want them to have the knowledge of how to do their work. I want them to make money. And I want them to feel like they're an important part of our team. Wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. And how long did it take them to come up with that second list?
That took longer. Yes, that wasn't nearly as expedient as the first list.
Yeah.
They had thought very thoroughly, I'm sure every single day on the drive into work, the drive home to work, talking with others, right, what they wanted from their people.
Sure.
What they wanted for their people required a little more introspection.
Yeah.
It was there, and all of these things it's a wonderful team. I believe they're incredibly sincere and authentic about their feelings about these things. Mm-hmm. But it was not as easy to give voice to.
Yeah.
And maybe because the room was all a bunch of guys,
Yeah.
But I think any management team might struggle with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then I think you know where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
My question to him was, do they know this?
Mm-hmm.
Have you told them these things?
Right.
How have you communicated this to them?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yep.
We as leaders, we have work to do.
Yeah. Yeah. The proactive ability to express care and the value of somebody. I mean, that's you do it on first dates and second dates and third dates, but do you do it 20 years in on the marriage, right? I mean, that's the same kind of issue here.
Yeah. I told you on the day we got married, I loved you.
Yep.
If anything changes, I'll let you know.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. And that was the challenge, right? Yeah. Let's have a balanced conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I want from you, and here's what I want for you.
Yeah.
And a lot of times those conversations should occur at the same time.
Right.
Here's what I'm asking, and this is why. Right. And this is the outcome that I would like to see for you based upon what it is I'm asking.
Yeah, and it's logical for both of those things to come up in the same conversation because they're related, right? I mean, they're related. I want you to make a lot of money. And so one of the things I want from you is drive, because I know that'll help you make the money and help us stay afloat as a business. It's logical that I would want that even, let alone the care factor. So, but the two things are definitely related and should come up in conversations together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If I want you to have a growth mentality, uh, then yeah, I should be willing to help share things with you that will make you successful.
Yep. 100%.
Whether they're people skills or just competencies related directly to the work.
Yeah.
It's absolutely profound. And so I think for our listeners, you could do the same inventory. And
right.
if you lead a team of people who lead others, you could run the same exercise.
Yep.
And start off with, what do you want from your people? Have a discussion of that. Then what do you want for your people?
Yep.
And let's not wait until an employee threatens to leave or a team member gives their notice.
Yep.
Or worst of all, when we're standing around at their funeral.
That's right. That's right. And I think we have a few episodes that I'm thinking of that could help you then go and express that, if that's something that you, now that you have this knowledge of, oh yeah, these are the things that I really want for my people, that I'm going to go express that. We have the AID method. I'll make sure we link to that in the show notes. But yeah, I think the really powerful thing you did there is not just have them come to the insight, but now they're going to take action and say, oh yeah, how would we go about making sure that our people know that that's how we feel about them? There's going to be some action here as a result. It's great stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And the amazing conversations you can have when you approach it from that standpoint.
Yep.
Right. Instead of from a take standpoint, I'm approaching it from a giving standpoint.
Yep.
And now we've got a mutual reason to be where we are.
Well, and me feeling like you actually do care about not just yourself, but about me, that is a trust builder. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking for it in action and in word. To be fair, there needs to be some action behind it as well. It's not good enough just to say, we want you to have all the knowledge that you need to do your job, if you don't actually put me into some training. So you have to have both, but the fact that you're doing that and expressing that is going to build trust for the team. If you never do this, you may care about them immensely, but if you never do this, you never get a chance to build trust, to build goodwill, to have any of this actually work for you, instead of just have this vacuum. Because I'm from the PR industry originally, and we always said rumors love a vacuum. If you don't say, here's the intention, here's what we're doing, there will be negative news that fills that void that you've left. So Tell people, goodness sakes, tell people.
Yep. No, I think you're absolutely right. It's not enough to feel it, not enough to think it. You have to share it. And we know that's an uncomfortable place, but it's definitely a place worth going to.
I love it. We can put a button in it right there. I don't know, Mike, I don't know the order of the episodes we have currently in the can. I know that we will just before or just after have an episode about Jane Austen. And it's going to talk about Wickham, Officer Wickham, and how when push comes to shove, the main character realizes, wait a minute, they said a lot of charming things, but I don't think they ever once did anything that actually involved caring for somebody else. It was all just sounded good and looked good, but actually wasn't actual care. So these episodes in some strange way are now married together in my head. So great stuff. But listen, you know who really cares for us?
Who?
I like to call him the voiceover artist that we're not going to name. That's what I'd like to say.
Prince?
I hope he listens to this
Prince.
Prince.
Oh, not Prince. Oh, yeah. We won't name Mr. Wolf. Take it away, brother.
And that, I guess, is that. It doesn't take a genius. No rights reserved, nothing trademarked, copyrighted, or even original. Feel free to give it to anyone, anytime, using any and all media formats. Warning, Mark and Mike may or may not make another one. I'm your announcer, and I did not get paid a nickel to do this. They won't even let me tell you my name. So, until next time, if there is a next time, stay safe, be well.
That's good enough.